Mass exodus. Vast hordes of Americans are fleeing blue states with high crime rates, Michael Snyder reports. As our society continues to deteriorate all around us, rising crime has become one of the primary reasons why so many Americans are, of course, choosing to relocate to a different part of the country. According to the National Association of Realtors, there was a tremendous amount of domestic migration last year, 2022. Some people are choosing to relocate for better employment opportunities. Some are choosing to relocate to states with lower tax rates, and some are choosing to relocate for health reasons. But to me, one of the most striking trends is the fact that red states with low crime rates are seeing tremendous population growth, while blue states with high crime rates are losing residents at a staggering pace. The report that was just released by NAR tells us that the states with the most net domestic migration gains last year was Florida, Texas, and the Carolinas. Florida, Texas, and the Carolinas were the states with the most net domestic migration gains in 2022. According to NAR, this migration significantly boosted population growth in these areas. I've been to North and South Carolina, they're beautiful states. And of course, summer you have fireflies, which I never saw in upstate New York. But anyway, going back to this, those are all red states with low crime rates. On the other side of the equation, the states with the largest net domestic migration were California, New York, and Illinois. Meanwhile, California, New York, and Illinois experienced the largest net domestic outmigration, and as a result, the population dropped even further in these states. You probably would have guessed those three states without even reading that article. In the blue state, after blue state, major cities have been transformed into crime-ridden, drug-infested hellholes. For example, the city of Portland, Oregon, is essentially one giant tent city for drug addicts at this point, and we've just learned that taxpayer funds have actually been paying for many of those tents. Disabled residents suing Portland over scores of homeless encampments blocking city sidewalks have discovered the city spent at least $2 million in taxpayer funds to buy those tents and tarps. Plaintiffs learned that Multnomah County Joint Office of Homeless Services, JOHS, used the millions to buy 22,000 tents and 70,000 tarps for its homeless residents to keep basically no record of who got the supplies or where they were sent. No wonder so many people have been moving out of Portland. If I lived in Portland, he says, I would be planning to move out too. Meanwhile, New York City is dealing with a different sort of crisis. The Big Apple has become flooded with migrants, and it turns out that they are causing all sorts of chaos. A once trendy Manhattan hotel has become a wild free-for-all of sex, drugs, violence after the city began housing migrants there, an employee claimed on Tuesday. Row New York City worker Felipe Rodriguez, who told the Post earlier this month that migrants were throwing away tons of prepared food at the hotel, said the facility has now descended into anarchy. Chaos, total chaos, Rodriguez told Fox and Friends. When asked to describe conditions at the hotel, there's no accountability, he said. This has not exactly come as a shock. If people come into our country legally, they are more likely to obey our laws once they are here. But if people come into our country illegally, they're more likely to disobey our laws once they are here. Now, right now, Biden administration choosing to roll out the red carpet for those that want to come into our country legally. The Biden administration policy to permit migrants that would otherwise be expelled allows for Haitians and Cubans to receive an array of public benefits according to the Department of Health and Human Services, HHS. Haitian and Cuban migrants paroled in the U.S. can receive Medicaid, food stamps, and cash benefits according to HHS Office of Refugee Resettlement, ORR. The new program uses parole authority to allow 30,000 Venezuelans, Nicaraguans, Cubans, and Haitians to enter the U.S. on a monthly basis if they have a sponsor. America is currently facing the largest illegal migrant crisis in our history, the largest drug crisis in our history, and the largest homelessness crisis in our history simultaneously. And as a result, crime rates have started to spiral out of control. If you can believe that, the crime rate in Chicago is already up 61% so far this year. The crime rate in Chicago spiked by 61% in the first 3 weeks of 2023, with almost all crime segments registering an increase, with data coming at a time when the state's governor insists that crime in the city is decreasing. In the first 22 days of this year, the Chicago Police Department received 4,844 complaints related to crime, up to 61% compared to the 3,313 complaints received in 2022, reveals data PDF from the department. This is also 97% higher than from the same period in 2021 and 81% higher than in 2022. The biggest increase in crime in the past year was in motor vehicle theft, which rose by 165% year to date until January 22nd, 2023, when compared to the year ago period. And auto theft in Seattle has gotten so bad that local authorities are actually deciding to sue Hyundai and Kia for failing to install anti-theft technology in their vehicles. They blame everyone but the criminals, strategy being employed in most major U.S. cities and contributing to the increase in crime while emboldening future criminals does not show signs of stopping anytime soon. Case in point, the auto thefts in Seattle have gotten so bad that city attorneys in the liberal-run Utopia are hilariously suing the manufacturers, Hyundai and Kia, for failing to install anti-theft technology on the cars. Talk about missing the point. Instead of going after auto manufacturers, Seattle should get tough on crime and put far more police on the streets, but that would be way too simple. Sadly, the truth is that crime is not just a problem in our largest urban areas. As I pointed out in previous articles, our society is absolutely teeming with violent predators at this point, and that even includes some of the remotest communities in our entire nation. I'm not going to go into the details of what happens in some of the counties there, having to do with the increase in crime. Now, it turns out that the perpetrators, okay, this is just terrible. Sick things happening. Now, a story like this makes blips in the news. So many criminals are doing similarly sick things. Our society desperately needs to change course, but there is no future for us if we do not. Unfortunately, those running our largest cities are just going to continue doing what they're doing, and so the chaos in our streets is likely to continue to get even worse. This is finally here. Michael's new book entitled End Times is now available in paperback and for Kindle on Amazon. This article is written by Michael Snyder. He says about the author, "My name is Michael, and my brand new book entitled End Times is now available on Amazon. In addition to my new book, I've written 6 other books available on Amazon, including 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies of the Future of America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters, Commissions Earned. When you purchase any of these books, you help to support the work that I'm doing, and one way you can really help is by sending copies as gifts to family and friends. Time is short, and I need help getting these warnings into the hands of as many people as possible. I've published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, and The Most Important News, and the articles that I publish on those sites are republished on dozens of other prominent websites all over the globe. I always freely and happily allow others to republish my articles on their own websites, but I also ask that they include this about the author section with each article. The material contained in this article is for general information purposes only, and readers should consult licensed professionals before making any legal, business, financials, or health decisions. I encourage you to follow me on social media, Facebook and Twitter, and any way that you can share these articles with others is definitely a great help. These are such troubled times and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, I strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. This is by Michael Snyder on End of the American Dream. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box